Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, play is underway at Champions Retreat in Evans for the Augusta National Women's Amateur Tournament. We'll take you there and have the latest look at the leaderboard. Also ahead, local hotels getting set to give tournament guests the VIP treatment. We'll show you what they're planning. And the last day of the legislative session in Georgia. Lawmakers still have to agree on a budget. The latest from the Gold Dome as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. Jenny is off today. As coverage you can count on begins at 4 with the first round of the Augusta National Women's Amateur Tournament, a.k.a. ANWA. News Channel 6's Tiffany Hobbs. Live this afternoon at Champions Retreat. Tiffany, so much excitement out there today.
Yes, Brad, plenty of excitement out here. It has been such a gorgeous day, albeit a bit chilly, but plenty of joy to go around and warm everyone's spirits. Also, plenty of action out on the course, and Kira over here has the scoop on that.
Yeah, I do, Tiffany. The top amateur in the world right now is atop the leaderboard. That's Rose Zhang. She had quite an impressive first round out here at Champions Retreat. Zhang is holding on to the solo lead right now at 6 under, and she is one stroke ahead of Andrea Lignell of Sweden, who plays for Ole Miss, after shooting a bogey-free 66 today. But you know, the Stanford sophomore said yesterday that a win at Augusta National is the one really big thing missing from her resume, so she seems to be focused on that today. Behind Zhang and Lignell is Georgia senior Jenny Bay, who's in third at 3 under, and we will hear from Rose Zhang in the next hour. But until then, it has been a very exciting start to the tournament, Tiffany.
That's right. Thank you, Kira. Well, patrons started coming through the gates at 7:30 a.m. this morning as the pursuit for this year's Augusta National Women's Amateur Trophy begins. A beautiful day here in Evans and a lot of excitement in round one for both the golfers and the patrons. Randall Bowler and his wife are both retired military and live in Augusta. Randall tells us they've done the raffle for the championship several times, but this is the first year they've been selected.
We're going to do a lot of walking. You know, since we don't play pickleball today, so we're going to do a lot of walking. You can look at beautiful scenery, so that's about it. It's wonderful, very wonderful. Yeah, wish I could have my granddaughter with me, but it's a wonderful day. Very wonderful.
The first thing on Randall's bucket list, a pimento cheese sandwich. Live at Champions Retreat, I'm Tiffany Hobbs, WJBF, News Channel 6.
Yeah, Tiff, on a lot of people's lists for sure. Thank you for that. What about Champions Retreat? Well, it's near Greenbrier schools, and traffic there can be really heavy before and after school. The good news for those parents is traffic flow should not be impeded by this tournament. No, only a portion of the number of patrons that go to the Masters will attend this tournament, and all those patrons are shuttled in, which leads to less traffic near the club.
I think where you'll see a little bit of conflict would be in the afternoon when school's let out, especially the elementary school, possibly the middle school, where you have more parents that pick the children up.
That shuttle runs from Grace Baptist Church on Hardy McManus Road. Gates open at 7:30. Meteorologist Miller Hyatt is here now, and all right, Miller, thanks. People from all over the world are already making their way to Augusta for the Augusta National Women's Amateur this week, the Masters next week, and they're getting a chance to experience some very special treatment. News Channel 6's Renetta Dubose live from the Partridge Inn with a look at what's new for patrons. Renetta?
Brad, this rooftop experience reopens this year after being closed last Masters for renovations. Now, along with a larger bar area, there's also a chance to dine on the inside. We're at 6 South Rooftop Bar, and it has its own kitchen now. And on the second floor, 8595 Restaurant and Bar offers more. Chef Thomas tells us A5 Japanese Wagyu beef will be on the menu, and his published pecan pie. Also new this week, the partridge cocktail in a special bird glass. Patrons can expect live entertainment on 2 levels and shuttles to Augusta National Golf Club, too.
We still have rooms this weekend for ANWA, and also Sunday night. And then the last weekend of the tournament, we do still have rooms available on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, during Masters Week, you will need a badge to access this rooftop area, but that includes food and a cocktail. Now, we'll also take you at 5 o'clock to across the river to the North Augusta Hotel that has a rooftop special for patrons as well. Live in Augusta, Renata Dubose, WJBF News Channel 6. Back to you.
Some Augusta commissioners not hearing. A lot of us are doing some spring cleaning right now, especially with Masters right around the corner. Coming up next, a look at some places you may not think of to clean. We'll show you as News Channel 6 at 4 continues in just a few minutes. It is time for spring cleaning, and as you check off your to-do list this year, you may want to add these often missed spots to your annual ritual. Here's Alexis Christoforous.
Planning to start fresh this spring with a clean house? Perry Santanacho at Consumer Reports shares some tips to make sure you leave no dust bunny unturned, starting with the couch you use every day.
Moving the sofa out from the wall, vacuuming the carpet, the flooring, and using special attachments on your vacuum to get into the sofa's crevices.
The ceiling fan is another area for dust to collect, so don't forget to wipe down the blades.
One hack that we love is just using an old pillowcase and slinging it over each of those blades and just wiping it off. That way that dust doesn't fall on the floor or all over you, and it's just contained in that little sack that you can wash.
Don't neglect the laundry room. We all know to clean the lint trap on the dryer after each load. Lint is a fire hazard, but once in a while you should do a deep clean too.
That usually involves like getting some kind of lint trap cleaning kit, which is like a long hose that attaches to your vacuum, and it can get all the way in there and suck all that stuff out.
After the lint trap, disconnect your dryer from the power source, slide the dryer out from the wall, and vacuum the duct too. And as you're scrubbing down the bathroom, look up. Is your shower head clogged with scaly mineral deposits? You can descale it by filling a plastic bag with vinegar and attaching it to the shower head.
Use a twist tie or a rubber band to attach it to the shower head and just tie it so it's submerged, and leave it there for a few hours, and then remove the bag, turn the shower head on, rinse it out, and you're good to go.
And do not skip the toothbrush holder.
The toothbrush holder is basically a dark and damp space, which is a breeding ground for mildew and mold and God knows what other bacteria and germs.
If it's dishwasher safe, pop it in with a load of dishes or hand wash it with hot soapy water. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Don't go away. Meteorologist Miller Hyatt is up next with your forecast. Stay with us.
I'm attorney. Time showers and storms for the first week of April.
All right, thanks a lot, Miller. Looks wonderful out there. Does not look wonderful in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. Those poor folks out there working so hard with volunteers helping them to try to rebuild. The town was decimated by a tornado outbreak Friday night. The harsh realization that recovery could take years starting to sink in now. More than 20 people in several states were killed.
So you're still living here? Is that the bed that you've made?
Yes, I have places that I could go, but I have my cat, and she can't go. So I'm staying with her.
So you would rather be here?
I would, because this is my home.
FEMA is encouraging survivors whose homes were damaged to come forward, but many of them say they don't want to leave their homes, even if it's dangerous. A Florida State Trooper is being honored for his life-saving efforts. What he did that went above and beyond the call of duty. Coming up on News Channel 6 at 4. A Florida family has a state trooper to thank for their infant son being alive. Brianda Villegas has the story.
This is 8-month-old Dalen Phillips of Brooksville. Parents Cheyenne and Dayton Phillips say he was playing on the floor of their room over the weekend. But when Dayton picked him up, he noticed his son was gagging.
It's to the point where his eyes are turning real watery, red. His lips are turning blue, so we knew at that point he's not breathing.
The family did call 911, but
when you got a baby who's not breathing, time is a virtue.
After hopping in the car on the way to the nearest hospital,
there was a state trooper passing at the same time. They stopped. They jumped out the car trying to get give the baby to Mr. Ortiz.
Trooper Ortiz was finishing his shift, pulling up into the driveway of his home.
It seems like perfect time. God works wonders.
He was handed Dalen and tried to clear his throat. But when it didn't work, Ortiz and a family member drove the infant to the hospital themselves.
What really kept me calm is knowing that he was with the state trooper and my aunt at the time, who was a retired nurse and helped a lot.
That's where hospital staff found a plastic wrapper in his throat. Ortiz stayed until Dalen was airlifted to All Children's Hospital.
And I just feel like these type of things don't get recognized enough. I feel like police are quick to get bashed, but they're never quick to get recognized.
His parents saying the trooper is an example of how some heroes really don't wear capes.
You know, just so much emotions at the time going on. And I can't really be any more happy or any more gratitude towards Mr. Ortiz.
There is more coverage you can count on coming up next on News Channel 6 at 4:30. Dee Griffin standing by with the latest on that school shooting in Nashville.